Okay, here we go. Take that out. So I'm going to explain my way to take out the rings of lenses, and again it is my way. So I don't say that to use the academic way, but works with me. Let's start with, for example, some info about, basically speaking, what you use is a tough plastic. I never use these rubber things. So the containers for vitamins and things like that for me works good, especially with wide-angle lenses. And the reason is that you have to be conscient with my system that the wide-angle lenses, here we go, are convex, and that most of the time, but depending of the lenses, the lens goes higher than the ring. So what is nice with these ones is that they are concave, so you have to check if you can reach really the ring without touching the lens. And if you cannot, then you have to cut the center, and then you will be able to use it. And what I mean by that, well, this one is too small. This one, well, that's my vitamins. This one, for example, should be large enough, but it's nice to have some kind of deepness to apply a better pressure, and to have the let's say the top of the container to reach as much as possible the outside of the ring and not really the inside of the ring. In this way you can apply better pressure. And then you have to take care too that there is no dents on your lens. We will not allowed to turn the ring. And then then you have to apply a special, I don't know if I can call that a spanner, to work the external ring to make it as round as possible. Well, in fact, round enough. But that's another problem. So let's start with what else I want to talk about. Oh yeah, you said about you cannot reach infinity, or at least that I suppose what you want to say is the infinity at wide aperture is out of focus. There is a different ways to correct this problem, but depending of the lens, from a Pentax, well, let's think about this Tamron 7030 that I hacked to be able to use the macro in all the way, not only on a 100 millimeters range. But what's interesting on the lens, this lens you have to take it with a spanner, with a special spanner or with a caliper. And then you carefully inserted that here and you turn. But what's interesting and peculiar, if I remember good with this lens about infinity focus, is that the tuning of the infinity focus is achieved by slightly turning the front lens without taking all the ring apart. And that's because Tamron. In fact, this one is for a Pentax, but this one was originally a design Tamron Nikon. What's interesting on this kind of lenses is that the geometry, they're not really let's say flat and circular. They're a little bit en biais, we call that in France, meaning that when you turn, the lens goes a little bit up, or the front lens, or a little bit down. But that's again just for you to know. And I will be very cautious about disturbing the tuning of the, let's say, of the focus, and you have really to know what you're doing. So maybe it's just a question that when they put back the lens, they let's see, on this Pentax, for example, they place, you have little screws, really little ones. So you have to be, the same times what they do is they do that wrongly, and you finish by the reading don't correspond to the actual focus length, I suppose I can say that, of the optic. And well, first try to focus at infinity, reach your infinity, because at a certain point I think you should reach your infinity, and check if the problem is not the let's say the synchronization between the ring with little screws, that depends of the each model of different, and the optic. Now my system is, for example, let's try a easy lens, if I have one. I don't have. Let's try it, for example, with this one. So I'm going to go as close as possible. Okay, I'm going to use this one. Still is not really perfect, so I mean, I think I can, this one is going to be easy one. It's better to choose one with the outside diameter as close as possible of the outside diameter of the ring to apply the proper pressure. But the trick, and then you have to use a little bit your own logic. I mean, obviously, I mean, if you put a tape like that, who's going to glue the lens to the outside, I mean, things are not going to work. So if I remember good how I did things, just cut a piece, we should, and that is a carpet tape for carpets. So what you have to do, so let's try it with this one. I didn't did that for a long time. So you're going to do like that, for example. Then let's say, and you want to have a little bit of thickness, some kind of damper. So what you do, just something was going that you're going to be able to put around the ring without touching the lens. So now is the shitty part of, here we go, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit too high. Obviously, I mean, that's the most difficult part. So what, I'll take care of that. So what you do, is simply you try to apply doesn't matter, it goes a little bit twisted, better not, but the important is to create, well, sure, the best is to be uniform, but I think that is going to work like that with this one. Sticky. So the point, focus just as close as possible. You don't want to apply too much pressure when the focus, how you call that, helicoid is out. So you put your hand, you apply. Sure, you have to apply to the outside, not the inside. Huh? Should be like that. And what you have to do is just twist. So, oh yeah, and you have to look. Normally, so you have to turn against the clock rotation. So, and then the only thing you do et voilà. So now I'm going to show you that with this one was easy, but for lenses who could be more difficult. And then what is important is that you have to apply the pressure in the uniform way, not too much on one side. So you can use a palm, give a little bite, and you take it out. So that's for this one. I'm not going to try with this one because this little bump, is this one with a bump? Yeah, will not allowed, and because it is convex lens with the front lens almost at the same level than the ring, so you don't want to disturb that. I'm going to try with now something bigger with a Russian lens. This one is really tight. It's a Volga. This one is a little bit maybe different because it's like, I don't know if there is, I'm sorry, I don't know if there is two rings here. But anyway, you apply the same thing. You have to take care that I will have to use some kind of clothing for that. No, should be okay. So should be enough. You can do that. Let's see. Maybe on this one a little bit larger. Don't have to be perfect, but have to be that you have enough. Here we go. Let's try it with this side. Maybe it's going to be easier. Maybe on this one you can be a little bit more generous on the size. Maybe you have to cut a little bit here, or not, just you can twist a little bit. Here we go. be able to take out with all these. So okay, so you can make it a little bit like more, goes more to be applied, a little bit like that. So let's try it with this one. Doesn't matter if it sticks a little bit on the outside. That is something that your torque, and you have to apply the quite a downforce and a torque. So let's see with this one. I hope I'm right. Sounds like. And here we go. And I never did this one. I think this one was easy because this one was easy to me. But that's it. So you have to take a look for sure. Don't be afraid to apply pressure in the moment you apply the right pressure on the right place. And this one. Well, maybe in this case it's better to close it. It was interesting on this one because was the for example, you see you have surprises sometimes. Was the inner one who was with a thread, so sometimes it can be deceptive, but that works. And then you have to be patient. I'm not going to do that now. And careful. I do that normally with just 2 fingers to find back. Here we go. I'm sorry. I cannot see always what I'm doing on the camera. And then we just apply a little bit of force. A little bit more. And then it's done. So that's my way again. It is non-destructive if you know what you're doing. And again, sure it is important that you don't, is better I don't have the cover for this one, but to have a cover. In this way you don't make the lens dirty, and so basically that's it. And it's a good opportunity to take your vitamin. So that's it.